welcome back. Last time we were discussing, this video will be about rocks, screws, and cowboys. So if you're not remotely curious, I feel sorry for you. You're like, what in the bejeebies does that have to do with anything? Today we're going to find out. Okay. So last time we talked about 3 things you should keep on your desk. So today I'm going to show you 3 things that personally mean something to me, so that when tough times come, I have something to look at and say, okay, I have a frame of reference for what happened, how I dealt with it, and then 3 things that basically help me get through my day, solve problems, etc. We're going to talk about rocks, we're going to talk about screws, and we're going to talk about a cowboy. Okay, each one of these is deeply personal to me. I suggest you find 3 items that yourself that you have that you can look at, and when you look at these things, you're going to remember something that's good about your life, or something that will help you to get along with life, or something like that. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, this is the first item I keep on my desk. And this is a rock. Okay? Rocks to me represent challenges in life, obstacles that I have to overcome. And believe me, if unless you're different than me, I trip over things every day, right? You can trip over rocks or you can climb rocks, like it's your choice. But what this represents to me is, when I was going through a rough time when I lived out in Colorado, they have what they call 14ers. And a 14er is a mountain that's 14,000 feet or higher. And before some of you go, I can do that. Yeah, there's like no oxygen up there either, okay? And you might gain 3,000 to 5,000 feet of elevation depending on the mountain that you're gaining. So think of starting where you are with Long's Peak, for example. I've climbed that. And you go 5,000 feet up or more. You start at 9,405, you end up at 14,360 and change, right? Yeah, and you're just going up, 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 up. When you get to the top, a lot of people like to pick mementos. Okay, so this came from Mount Elbert. Mount Elbert is 14,443 feet. I believe it is the 2nd highest peak in the continental United States. I think the first one's in California, Mount Whitney. And so I stood on the top of a mountain, but the challenge was I had to climb to get there. Okay, so we all have goals in our lives, but we often underestimate the challenge to get there, right? Partway up the mountain, it's really easy. You're like, yeah, we're going to do this. Halfway up, like, oh God, why did I do this? And then about the last third, you're like, nah, I don't want to do this. Screw this. And you turn around, okay? So I took this rock, number 1, to celebrate an achievement. That's quite an achievement, okay? Some of you younger people out there, you're like, when you get to be my age, it's like, well, thank the Lordy I made it up without falling down, right? So this represents a major challenge to me. It's something I've always wanted to do. And so, yeah. And even the shape of the rock, when you get to the top, it's actually pitched. They have a final pitch that you climb. And so your problem is often solved not when you're able to do it. You come up to the problem and then it's like, I'm beat, I'm weary, I got no gas in the tank. And then life demands you to go, okay, one final pitch. And at Long's Peak, that can be 48 degrees in some parts, right? So you're like, wow, I got nothing in the tank. Well, that's what separates the men from the boys, the winners from the losers, okay? Which one are you? So this is the first one that I have on my desk. And to me, this represents challenges. Whether it's unemployment, like right now, the technology market's going crazy. It'll recover, but that's a challenge. So I can do other things, right? So rocks to me represents challenge. So that's the first thing on my desk, okay? Pick one for yourself. What would your one be, okay? So those are rocks. Now, if you've watched this channel a little bit, then you know I'm a goofball. So this next item, a screw. And you're like, well, what is that for? You know what? Honestly, I'm a wise guy. This is to remind me in life that sometimes, no matter your best intentions, you're just going to get screwed. You're just going to get screwed. You did it right. Your boss shafted you anyway, right? You were nice to the person. You took it up the tailpipe, all right? Like to quote Jim Carrey. I'll bend over and take it up the tailpipe in the movie The Mask, right? So this reminds me, no matter my best intentions, I can be nice to people, I can be friendly to my boss, great to my coworkers. You know what? Sometimes in life, it happens, man. You just get screwed. There's no explanation. You got screwed, time to move on. So that's what this guy. I bought this when I was, my dad took me to a hardware store, and one day it dawned on me, like, you know, that's a good problem-solving tool right here. So fun factoid about this, I bought 3 bolts, and when I led software teams, I would spray paint them. And we call it the Screwball Awards. And we would give these to each other for motivation, for gold, silver, and bronze, right? In other words, who are the 3 idiots in the office? Sorry, but you got to be motivated somehow. And we would assign names. It's like, hey, so-and-so gets the gold screw. And if you had that client, you could put the screw up. So, I mean, you can have some fun with this stuff. But the bottom line is, sometimes in life, you're just going to get screwed. There are no answers, right? You got the shaft. You take the bolt and you go, hey, thanks a lot. Or whatever shoulder is good luck, right? Okay? Whatever you throw a pinch of salt in that culture. So sometimes in your life, you just get screwed. I'll wait for you to get done laughing and we'll pick up the last one. Okay, so this last one actually is representative of if you're a person of faith, okay, as I am, or even if you don't, you always have that one person where you look back, be it a teacher, a pastor, a guidance counselor in high school, a best friend, mate, whatever, right? So that person said to you something about yourself that you couldn't see in yourself, right? Maybe you wanted to do something, but you weren't kind of sure how that would work out, okay? So this last one comes to me from my father. So turn it here so you can kind of see that. So that is an original one-of-a-kind clay statue. And so growing up, my dad is a pastor. We went church to church, right? And I know at this time, Dad wanted my brother and I to have something that we'd remember him forever. So we came across this, I think it was Six Flags in New Jersey. We went in, found this really cool Indian teepee. Yes, it's a teepee. That's what it was. That's what it's technically called. And inside it was like a shop. And the gentleman in there, the proprietor, made the custom one of a kind. There is no other like this. This is a one of a kind. And so Dad's like, guys, pick something. Man, that was a sacrifice for my dad. And I appreciate that to this day. Loved it, love him for it. This thing, when I move or I go, this gets bubble wrapped. I'd rather lose my life than lose this thing. Why? Right? Because this third item represents to me what people can see in you when you can't see it in yourself. See, it says computer wizard on it's a little laptop. I don't know if you guys can kind of see that or not, but it's a cowboy on a laptop. Okay, and here's what's ironic. I chose this statue not knowing that I would spend 20 years in Colorado with my family at the time. So how fitting, right? Pretty cool. But to this day, I am a computer whiz. I'm a geek. I'm a nerd. I love technology. Okay. And so my father saw something in me. Now, this was way before there were computers, right? Cell phones fit on your corner and the antenna was this long and you put it, like a boom box. Some of you don't even know what I'm talking about. But yeah. So I've watched the entire tech industry grow. And this means something to me because my mom and my dad, my mom actually too, right? She's like, yeah, that's you. My brother fun factoid, my brother put one with his feet on the desk, so that's him too. so I have to make fun of my brother for a second. But he's a good guy. But mine was a computer wizard, right? And so this means something. My dad looked at me, he says, you're good at that. You're a logical person. Gosh darn it, people like you. So I got the trifecta. So this thing goes everywhere. If I move, this is bubble wrapped. All right. If I look at this and I dust it off and you might think, man, you're crazy. No, this represents in the same way my maker, right? Or in their case, the person that believed in you, saw something in you. That's what that represents, okay? So you should pick 3 things from your life like this. And this is not mysticism. This is a coping strategy that when tough times come, you can look at these things and kind of track where you're going, right? So for me, it's rocks. Okay, here's the challenges in life. And I accomplished a major challenge with this. And every time I look at this and I come across a problem I can't solve, I look at this rock. What do you look at? The second piece is a screw. Yeah, sometimes you just get screwed. And that's the end of that. You just get screwed. That's it, man. That's the end of it. It's all, you were nice to your boss, they screwed you anyway, you sat down on a pole and took it like a man or a woman, and you went home angry, you got screwed. Congratulations, welcome to life. I'm going to zoom in on that so you can laugh forever. Sometimes you're just going to get screwed. And then the last one, of course, represents somebody that sees something of value in you. So if you're a person of faith, you'd say, God sees value in me. And then my father said, yeah, I see that value in you. That's definitely, computers is what God's gifted you with, okay? So whatever that means to you, find somebody in your life and you'll find you're going to hit your stride because looking back, somebody believed in you, okay? So that's my 3, rocks, screws, and cowboys. So I'm just going to put these over here for a second. Now, your assignment is go pick 3 things for yourself. I don't know what they are, but these are my 3. Challenges, sometimes I get screwed, tough times, you know, and then always remember someone believes in me. Whether in my faith, like Faith Family Fun, for those that watch that video, you know, I believe I have a maker, so at least my maker believes in me. But I'm very fortunate that my parents, no matter when I'm a goofball, they always believe in me as well, okay? So what are your 3 things? So your assignment, if you will, while you're going through the program, will be pick your 3 things that are highly personal to you. If nothing else, people will come in your house, put them on your coffee table, put them on your desk at home, whatever. If nothing else, it'd be great coffee starters, right? When people ask me, you know, what's the symbolic of the screw? Because sometimes you get screwed. Ha, ha, ha. We have a great laugh over it. I still do every time I look at this. I'm like, you know, as long as you realize, you know, people will screw you, well, you can't really be upset with them, can you? It's like, moron. Hey, you did something to me. Great. Whoop. All right. So those are my 3 things. Let's get yours. Okay. Now, if you don't have it, I want you to get out your phones. I want you to get out your tablets. I want you to get out something to write with and take notes, because this is something you won't see anywhere else. And we're going to talk about some problem strategies. And we're going to get really practical with these slides. So I'll give you a second to get some pen, paper, get out your iPad, you got your DigiPen there, the Apple Pen, and whatever, okay? All right, you got something? All right, awesome. So we're going to talk about something that's very important, and that is, you know those times in life when you get screwed? Sometimes that means you have a problem resulting. You got screwed, you got laid off, okay? What do you do about it? So these are techniques to say, when life isn't fair, right, how do you respond? You have a problem, somebody can't solve it, okay? God's asking you to solve it, or if you don't believe in God, you're like, I don't know what to do, my friends can't solve it. But you can with these strategies, okay? So the first strategy we're going to talk about here is there's different ways to go through problems in life. And these are basically 4, I'm sure we could add to these, but thanks to my dad, he's actually the one that came up with this, so I'm teaching his stuff. So you can go around a problem. So the P in the box represents the problem, right? You're approaching the problem, and then you go, yeah, nope. And you go around it. See, the problem's still going to be there in your rearview mirror. And the thing about problems, when you take this approach and you go around them, the problem doesn't go away. It's right there. And then you get another problem and it goes, nope. And your strategy is, no, I'm just going to go around them. I'm never going to directly deal with anything in life. We're just going to go around them. Okay? The problem is you leave behind just a string of problems. Eventually, that catches up to you. So instead of dealing with one problem, now you've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 problems. See? And then you go, I'm so overwhelmed, I need counseling. What you need is to realize there's a problem, let's deal with it responsibly, okay? And we all do that, I do too, okay? So you'll find yourself using one of these strategies, believe me, okay? But try not to go around your problems. Try to solve them, okay? So that's the first kind. People go around their problems. Next, people just completely avoid it. It's like coming up to the problem going, I don't think so. Right? Now, the problem with this approach is if life is a linear line and you go around, you can still go forward. When you completely avoid a problem, it takes you off course from your purpose in life. And guess what's going to happen? If you take an angled approach, right? You're going to get screwed, except you're the one doing it to yourself with this approach. All right? You're going to run into another problem. See? Life is a series of problems to solve for the rest of your life. So when you just go around, it's like, congratulations, you just did one of these to yourself. All right? So don't do that. Don't go around and don't completely avoid your problems. All right. So you can also go and completely turn around from the problem. So you're walking up on it. I think I'm going to deal with it, and you just turn around. That's really an act of cowardice. I don't know, and false piety. I don't know if I have what it takes, and I can't do that, and why would anybody trust me? Okay, so you come up to the problem, you turn around. It's like doing a U-turn. No, don't do that. Now, the motto of this channel is, don't be stupid. Well, that's stupid. These are all stupid, right? Going around your problem, that's just stupid. Completely avoiding it, well, that takes you off your purpose. And you're on this channel to figure that out, right? So that's stupid. And then you turn around. Well, that's just asinine. That's one level. There's dumb, stupid. This is asinine. Like, this is up here. Asinine is like the worst kind of stupid, right? Because when you turn around from the problem, what do we just say? If you avoid it, if you went around any problems, you're going to run into the problem. You took a U-turn into another problem. And then you completely avoided that problem. And pretty soon your life is like a ping pong ball where you're bouncing off problems. You go around a few, you avoid a few. Remember, you're leaving the problems behind. So if I do a U-turn, ping, I'm running into this one. Oh, wait, I want to avoid that. Ping, you run into a problem. Ping, you'll spend your whole life like a ping pong ball. Emotionally, factually, spiritually, relationally, whatever, right? You're just going to bounce off problems. So you don't want to turn around because you're guaranteed to run into something else. So don't be stupid and don't do that, all right? Great. So then there's the best way to do it, okay? Think of like, I'm going to go through this problem. I'm going to solve it with logic. If you're a person of faith, God help me, or your faith tradition. If you're not, you're like, okay, I'm going to use my intellect, my reason. All of these things you're going to bring to bear on your problem, and you're going to go through it, and you're going to crack that problem like a walnut, right? Right? Like, and your problem opens up, and then you go through. Now, because you went through the problem, you split the problem, and the problem goes away. The problem is solved, we might say, right? So this is what you want to do. You want to solve your problems. You don't ever want to go around them, right? Because remember, any problem you avoid still exists, right? You don't want to completely avoid it because that exists, right? And you don't want to turn around because that problem exists. And if you look at the angles of these lines, you're guaranteed to run into some other problem taking those three approaches. Your best approach is going to be to solve your problem, go ahead. Okay? So to solve your problem, you're going to have to first say, what is my problem? Write it down. It's because you can't solve a problem that you can't define. What is it you're trying to solve? So if you say the economy's bad, I need another job. That's a problem. That's a problem for a lot of people as of this recording in the world right now, not just the United States where I'm at. Okay? There's a big problem. So your problem might be, I need employment. Awesome. Write it down. Now you've identified the problem. Write down 10 things you can do about the problem, right? Oh, I can call, I can search for a job, write down 10 things. Then for each one of those things, say, is there any actions I can immediately take on that step? So if you need a job, you say, okay, I'm going to look online. Okay, if I look online, then I can follow up, right? I can cross-reference. I can go on Reddit. I can go on Craigslist. I can say, what about these back channel jobs? What about, we used to have newspapers, but those are so 1980s, right? Everything's digital. How about word of mouth? Call your friend. Hey, I need a job, right? Are you going to turn over every rock? See? So now you've got yourself an action plan. If you're familiar with Tony Robbins, he's a motivational speaker. He's just a great guy. He's on the internet, Tony Robbins, youtube.com/@Tony Robbins. Great material there as well. But he'll help you correct your mind surrounding this stuff and say, he calls it a massive action plan. Write it down, get going, get off your butt and make it happen. That's what that is, okay? So you're gonna solve your problems from now on. We're not going around them, okay? We're not avoiding them. We're not turning around, okay? We're gonna say, I've got a problem. I need an action plan and I need to get on that plan because the more time I deal with going through the problem is less time I can get to where I'm supposed to be going. And I'm putting, if you will, like a T, I'm putting a lid. Life goes, hold on. See, and if you don't break through, you're in trouble because if you turn around, that's not good. If you avoid it, you're still gonna run into the lid over here. See, and if you go around it, life goes, I'm gonna move my lid. See? As soon as you go around the problem, life says, oh, I'll move my lid. That's not how this works. You're going to solve your problems. See? So you want to come up against that problem and you want to go, boom, get out of my way. Make sense? So these are the 4 problem-solving strategies. Go around, you'll completely avoid it. You'll turn around or you're going to solve it. Keep in mind, any of the 3 to the left of solving your problem will leave behind another problem. So if your life has a whole bunch of problems, you're either going around, avoiding, or turning around from the problem. I don't want to deal with it. I'm too emotionally overloaded, right? Learn to get a hold of yourself and say, no, what do I got to do? And if you make that problem strategy too large, break it down into smaller goals. I need a job is a really big goal, right? Maybe what you can do today is to say, I'm going to find 5 jobs on Indeed.com, 5 on, I don't know, Google, 5 on whatever. Okay, I'm just going to start with 5 because if I say I'm going to sit there for 8 hours and that's all I'm going to do is look for work, probably not going to happen. See, make small goals and you'll feel better. You'll be like, okay, I did 5. You know what? I got about 7.5 hours left. Let's do another 5. Say, you know what? I found 5. Let's do another 5. Oh, look, it's been an hour. I found 20 jobs in an hour. I think I'm going to take a walk around. It's a nice day. See, pretty soon you're working on the problem day in, day out, and looking for work is a numbers game. It's a math problem nowadays. Okay? So using that as an example, say, if I just say find a job, I'm going to sit down 8 hours a day. Your only job is to find a job. Yeah, but what about fun? What about faith? What about family? What about fun? What about your life? It's a problem, but it doesn't have to define your life. You make it define your life. Okay? So these are the problem-solving strategies. Enjoy. Next up, you guys know I always love to laugh. I love comedy. I think laughter, medicine will tell you laughter is like a medicine for your body and your soul. So we're going to laugh a little bit, and I hope to see you next time, and we'll talk more again. So thanks for joining. Be sure to drink your water, subscribe below, wherever that button is. Spread the word. I'm not a professional, but I'm here to help. So feel free to comment on anything and ask some questions. I'll be more than happy to engage. So until then, until next time, I will see you later, and thanks for being here.
You learn things when you get married that you never knew when you were single. For instance, now that I'm married, I realize that I never would have survived had I stayed single. If I hadn't gotten married when I did, I probably would have been dead in a matter of months. I mean that. When I was single, I was wild. I lived on the edge. You would not believe some of the things I used to do. For instance, when I was single, I used to wear my shoes in the house. I'm not making that up. I really did. I did not know carpets are supposed to live thousands of years. You learn things when you get married you never knew when you were single. For instance, now that I'm married, I know that I breathe way too loud. My wife not only told me I breathe too loud, she told me the exact distance from which people can hear me. A mile! I know it, her knowledge is incredible. You learn things when you get married that you never knew when you were single. For instance, now that I'm married, I know when it's time to leave a party. I never used to know. When I was single, I would do really stupid things like stay until I quit having fun. Never realizing I should have left hours ago simply because it was time. How come you're leaving the party, man? It's time, pal, and you should get married so you'd know too. See, sometimes when people start applauding, other people are like, no, we don't want to move our arms. You learn things when you get married you never knew when you were single. For instance, now that I'm married, I realize that I never knew how to get dressed. You ever get dressed up to go out with your wife? You come out of the bedroom and she just looks at you and says, no. No, you go back now. I will help you. If it's a British husband, well, You're married long enough. She didn't have to say anything. You come out of that bedroom, you see a certain look, you just do a little U-turn. You learn things when you get married you never knew when you were single. You see it around us all the time. Today, in the hotel I'm staying at, very nice hotel, walking down the hallway behind what had to be a husband and wife. He said, I'm hungry. She said, no, you're not. He walked by me, looked up at me as if to say, guess I'm not hungry. I sure thought I was hungry. Sometimes I get a pain in my stomach like I'm hungry. Good thing I married her.